Marketing doesn't feel good often. The reason it doesn't feel good is because of the hidden agendas that get brought to it, for the most part. So it's just interesting how much our hidden agendas cost us in terms of clients. The hidden agenda, something feels off, it feels bad, people pull away. Yeah. And so I want to talk about, this is a piece I got from a fellow, Mark Manson, but it wasn't in the marketing context originally, but I think fits very well in it. And I want to introduce a new word, the word prospector. So this is the 3 kinds of prospectors. Another way to say this would be the 3 kinds of potential clients you could run into. I like the word prospector. I got it from Mark Silver with Heart of Business. And it comes from this idea, one of my colleagues, Corina Gordon-Barnes from England, she had a line, she said, stop looking for your ideal clients. Stop looking for your ideal clients because your ideal clients are already looking for you. And we tend to, I think, in marketing, look at marketing as like a searchlight. We're like desperately searching for people. Another way to look at it is being a lighthouse. We're kind of shining the light and drawing people in to Safe Harbor who are looking for just what we're offering. So it's important for us to, I think, sometimes reframe the marketing conversation as we're not going out, it's not just that we're going out there searching for people, they're searching for us actively. People who have problems, they want solutions, they're looking for us. So they're prospecting, they are prospectors, not just prospects for us. And there's only 3 kinds of these people you'll ever meet. 3 kinds of potential clients. Everyone you ever meet will fit into one of these 3 categories, and each of these 3 requires a very different approach. Basically, here's the 3. Yes, maybe, and no. So clients who are the people you meet who are who are yes to you, these are the people who you meet and they're just like, I love it. They are resonating with you right away. They're leaning in. They're curious. They're asking you more questions. They want to buy. They're a yes for you. Here's the mistake people make with the yeses, is they keep trying to sell them. They've like bought already. And it's like, but let me tell you more about it. And it's like, I don't need to know more about you. You really should. Again, also in dating, it's like, I really like you. Oh, okay, that's great. But I feel fundamentally inadequate. So let me tell you more about myself, I can't receive your love yet until I've proven it in some way. So I'm going to keep, the people who are a no are just a no. They hear what you're doing, they roll their eyes like, oh my God, what a quack, another hippie, great. They're just not into what you're offering. The big mistake people make here is trying to change their mind. Just, the strategy here is just bless and release. Let them go. Again, dating. This is important information. No, but you really could like me. No, I'll change. Oh, no, I like that kind of music too since yesterday. So let these people go. That leaves the maybes. And the maybes are, of course, the people who are like, well, I don't know, there's polite interest. They're not shutting you down, but they're not leaning in. So this all seems obvious. Here's the interesting thing. I would say for most businesses, you've got maybe 10% that are a hard yes, 10% that are a hard no, leaving 80% maybe. Maybe it's a 20, 60, 20, whatever it is in your case. So what happens then is, so there's 10% of people who say yes, and that's who is, of course, buying from you. So what's the strategy with the maybes if we've got 80% of them? Before we look at the strategy, we should probably look at why are there so many maybes in the first place. I think of the maybes sometimes metaphorically as the white blood cells in your business. You're probably always going to have some. That's okay. But 80% is a sign that you're ill. It's not a good sign for your business when there's that many maybes. And the illness, the sickness, in my mind has to do with a lack of vulnerability. a lack of willingness to be honest and transparent about who we are, how we see things, etc. The reason we get a neutral response from them is because we are putting something neutral out from us. Another important thing about the maybes, they do not buy from you. Maybes do not buy. And yet, there is the illusion that they will, because they're on the fence. And so the feeling we get is like, oh man, okay, yeah, there's only this many here, but the pipeline is so full. You wouldn't believe how many people are about to buy. Here's the other thing about maybes. Unless something changes on your end, or pretty dramatically on their end, maybes always turn into no's. Why would they change? If nothing has changed in what you're offering, and they were a maybe to begin with, it's very rare that they're just like going to change their point of view. What usually happens is they're a maybe, nothing changes with you. Somebody else comes along with a product or service that's better, that's more of a yes for them. They go with them, and now you're, they still like you, but they're not going to buy from you probably because they found something better, and so they should, So, knowing that, it becomes really important to shift this ratio as much as possible. How do we get more people saying yes? And again, a lot of this has to do,
question there. So if you have a one-on-one service-based business and you get a call for a consultation, would that automatically make them a yes?
No, not necessarily. I'd say they're probably, and it depends. I would say, if somebody just calls you up for a consultation, it means they're probably a strong maybe, like they're leaning in. But I wouldn't necessarily say they're a yes, because I know most of us have probably had times where we wanted to explore something with somebody, and then as we got to know them, it was like more of a yes or more of a no. If they call you and are like, I just want to hire you and give you money, that's a yes, Yeah.
Why did you compare the maybes to white blood cells? I didn't get that.
Oh, because, because I compare the maybes to the white blood cells because you're always going to have some people who maybe are ambivalent or not totally sure, but it's like you have some white blood cells in your body. But if you have like so many, it's a sign of some infection or something. Your body's trying to deal with it. It's an immune response. It's not a perfect metaphor, but yeah. So imagine this. If I'm a nutritionist, I get up at the front of the room, I say, ladies and gentlemen, I'm a nutritionist, and I've got a few minutes to just pitch myself here. So a bit about me, I think health is a good thing. Not all the time. I mean, it's not the only, but and I think food is often, it's a part of health anyways. And so I work with people with healthy food eating stuff, and there's a lot of perspectives about how to eat healthy. If you want to do that, and I just think they're all pretty valid. And so I'm pretty open-minded. So if you want to work with me around being healthy or not, you can. You know what I'm saying? That's a very neutral bit. Nobody's going to sit there in the audience and be like, I fucking hate this guy. But nobody's going to sit there being like, bravo, either. That's what I'm looking for, a vague nutritionist. Finally. God, I've been too clear. The stress of knowing what to do. With this person, I won't know what to do again. This is wonderful. No responsibility for me, yes. But what if I got up on stage and said, so I'm a nutritionist, and I want you to know I come from a raw vegan standpoint. I think a raw vegan diet is obviously the diet that humanity was evolved to eat. If you consider where humanity came from, near the equator, we would have had just so much fruit that we could have eaten, and there would have been such an abundance. And when you cook food, it kills the enzymes. When you look at our dental structure, the way our digestive system works, we're clearly designed to eat. Live on plant, products, and that's when we're healthiest. Most of the diseases in our culture come from meat-based diet, animal product-based diet, and also factory farms and deforestation, etc. Yeah. Even in this room, describing that, there's a polarizing that's happening, and this is the dynamic we want to explore. That it's okay to polarize the response. Raise your hand if you agree with what I just said. Raise your hand high if you agree. Okay. About the diet. Oh. Wow, the hands dropped fast. A bunch of you were like, I used to be, but not anymore. Oh, hello, recovering vegetarians. But raise your hand if you agree strongly with the raw vegan thing. I'm curious. Okay, so a much more polarized response. What if I got up and I said, I'm very offended by what the last speaker just said about diet. I think that's bullshit, that we were designed to eat a raw vegan diet. First of all, I think it's racist and colonial. I think it's utterly dismissive of every indigenous population in the world. The longest lived, healthiest cultures in the world always incorporate some portion of animal products. And I think, in fact, we need to be eating more animal products, but raw, a lot more raw milk, raw meats, raw animal organs, because they're so rich in minerals. We need to be eating more of that and not less. And of course, factory farms are bullshit, but you can get local. We need to be supporting more local. Raise your hand if you really agree with that. If you're more on that, okay, different, yeah. So there's a polarizing that starts to happen. And that's okay. This is the thing I just want to get across, is that it's okay to polarize. This is where I get sneaky. This isn't a tactic to get people to buy. It's like, aha, I'll get on stage and say something very controversial and polarize. It's not that. It's that if you're honest and if you're real about who you are and how you see things, it will polarize more. And most of us, just not out of trying to be disingenuous, I think just out of not having thought these things through, haven't really honed our perspective. Or maybe we're a little uncomfortable with who we are, and so we don't show up fully like that. And so we put out this very neutral front. And the more clear we are, the more honest, more vulnerable we're willing to be about that, the more it will polarize.